Notts County talk, player ratings. It's finished Notts County 2, Bromley 2. In a game that overall isn't a terrible result, but I'm quite gutted about it. I feel like it was a little bit of a smash and grab. Yes, Bromley were decent on the counter, but at the end of the day, they've not had many chances, probably 3 or 4 in the whole game, and they've scored 2, whereas Notts have hit the woodwork twice, had multiple chances, a handball, appeal for a penalty right near the end, Stonewall, arms raised into an unnatural position, waved away from a referee that I thought was pretty poor. I just feel gutted about that. Very good result for Bromley. Just feels like it's not the best for Notts. But as a team performance, really, really good. And Birchnell, again, tactically spot on with his changes. So we'll start with the goalkeeper, Slocum. Could he have done anything about either? Probably not. Definitely not the first. Probably not the second. It's shocking defending for the second. So I think Slocum's going to have to be given a 6. It would be a 7, but he's conceded the 2 goals, so he loses half a rating for each of those. I'm then going to move on to right wing back, which Kelly Evans played, but only for half the game. Came off at half time for Enzio. I thought Kelly Evans was decent. He got forward well. The only problem was we found he was in a position that he could comfortably get to his man, but he couldn't actually beat him. And that's why I think we switched to Enzio that could get in the same position and beat his man. So defensively, Kelly Evans was okay. He's beaten in the air, but you can't coach height, can you? So maybe something had to be tweaked there. I'm going to give him a 6.5. Then look to Brindley, who played out of position. Don't think he was really at fault for the first goal at all. A few people were saying it might have been on Twitter, but I think it was more that they just pulled on to Kelly Evans and won the header against a smaller man. So I think Brindley was actually okay. And I think given he was out of position and he made a few vital blocks where he showed his pace, was actually a very good asset to have in a back 3 on that wide back 3 position. So I'm going to give him a 7. Then you go to Mark Ellis. Scored an own goal, but actually I'm not going to let that own goal affect his rating at all, because if he doesn't make it, it's a goal anyway. He has to throw himself at the ball. He's facing away from the goal, so he can't clear it. The only thing he can do is try and put it over the bar, but he's so close in that it's practically impossible to put it over the bar. So that's not going to affect his rating. I thought decent in the air. He had to be good in the air against a very strong aerial Bromley side. So he's going to get a 7 for me. I know we've conceded 2. The first one wasn't. The second one wasn't his fault either. So I think he gets a 7. Moving on to Chickson. Now, really good all game. Really good at carrying the ball out of defence. But at a crucial time, he's made an error and not tracked his man. Now, when I look back, I might see that it is maybe Ellis's fault, but on first viewing from this player ratings, I'm going to say it's Chickson's error, and that brings him down to a 6 for me. It's a crucial part of the game. It's massive. It's 2 points dropped with only 12 left to play for with that game. And it's allowed Wrexham to be in the driving seat now, so I'm really disappointed about that. Overall, a very strong performance. Got that link up with Miller. Not much coming down that side, but he only gets a 6 because of that. Then go across to Miller. Stunning player. Just how good is he becoming? At one point, he nutmegs a player and drives forward from his wing-back position into the middle of the park, and there's 3 men chasing him. And the pressure of the 3 men means he loses the ball right at the last. With a little bit more composure, or a bit more luck, or a bobble, he's through on goal. Absolutely fantastic from him. So Miller for me today gets an 8. No, an 8.5, because he's just that good. He's been that good for us, and the energy he shows from the first minute, literally until he goes off that pitch, is brilliant. So very good performance from him. Then go on to Doyle. Midfield 3, start with Doyle. Range of passing, fantastic. The way when you have 3 central midfielders, it doesn't. I criticise Doyle for sitting too very deep and just getting it passively off the centre backs, but he can do that when you've got the runs of Reeves and specifically O'Brien running forward. So for me, Doyle very good today. I'm going to say an 8. I think he dictated the play really well. He seems to have improved even more since he's been given that extra role of the assistant manager, a bit of extra weight on his shoulders, but very good. And I think it would only be fair to give him an 8. And then look at Reeves. A few sloppy passes in there, not too dissimilar to Doyle's performance in that he put a lot into it. As I've said before, we didn't get the win, but the performance was there, and 9 times out of 10 you win that game. Cut out the defence mistake. 9 times out of 10 you win that game 3 or 4-1. So I'm going to give him a 7.5, not quite on Doyle's level. Next is Jim O'Brien. First half I'd have given a 6. I thought it was quite sloppy. One of the weaker links in that side. And the second half I'd have given him an 8. So I think it's only fair to balance that out to a 7. I think he plays like that the whole game, he gets the 8. But the link will be showed down that left-hand side with supporting Chickson, who came forward, and Rodriguez at the end. He's even supporting Miller on that side. It's just a very, very good performance second half, and it's exactly what he wanted. No frills, just do exactly your job, and it makes the rest of the team better. The rest of those players like Rodriguez better. So he gets a 7. I then go to Rodriguez. Wow, unbelievable! Scores again, hits the bar from a free kick, instrumental, gets an assist. 9.5 out of 10. Ruben Rodriguez. We've got to keep him in this form. If we can make that playoff spot, we've got to keep him in this vein of form, because he will be an absolute menace to any team he plays. Bromley, defensively, are quite a good side. He was fantastic today, so 9.5 for him. I then go to Carl Wootton. Impressed again. Gets a goal. And the assist from Rodriguez was fantastic, but Wootton's work rate off the ball, I'm also going to give him a 9. He could have had 2 assists. A lovely back heel to Reeves, who should probably do better. But all in all, Carl Wootton, really, really good up there. Work rate was great. Should have had an assist for O'Brien, who probably should have scored first half. So really good from him. Brings on to subs. Enzio. We didn't see too much of him, but what we did was really good. Never left it exposed in an unfamiliar position. And just very, very good. Beat his man, a few crossed into the box. I think Enzio gets a 7.5 probably. On his unfavoured side as well, so he couldn't cut in. But I thought he was good. He was a constant threat to them when he got the ball, and he did what Kelly Evans couldn't do and beat his man. And that leaves Eli Sam, who came on and I think was really good. I think 7.5 again. I think he's better off the bench. He's not going to like it, but he's an impact player and he's really good at it as well. So I think the subs are spot on by Birchnell. I think if I was to rate Birchnell today, I'd probably given him a 9 out of 10. I think everything was pretty much spot on. We just didn't take our chances, and that's football. Sometimes you go to games and you should win, and you don't take your chances. But I think all in all, we've hit the woodwork twice, and I think we can be proud of that performance, because as I said, 9 times out of 10 we come away from that 3 or 4-1 victors.